calm down. It's not that serious. It's not. It's really not. Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is Shay Michelle, and we're about to make the most honest video yet. This video is about like the downsides slash drawbacks of like going to Harvard and being a student there. Just from the jump, I'm not sponsored by anyone. No one told me to make this video. No one, told me what to say. No one knows I'm making this video. Not that it's a secret or anything, but this is just kind of preface that this is like my own opinions, my thoughts that have not been influenced by anyone specific. Now that we have, all our cautions around, we're just gonna dive into the video. One of the drawbacks is the food. Okay, so basically y'all have dining plans at other colleges. You can choose if you're gonna get what, 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day, 2 meals a week, all that jazz. We don't get that. Everything is like in one. So it's like you pay for tuition or you pay for room and board, food is in there, and like everything's in there. It's all inclusive it's an all inclusive resort. Not really, but basically you can't like choose. And so kind of the drawback is a lot of us say, if it was up to us, we probably wouldn't even pay for the food because of the amount of times we go to eat outside of the dining hall. It literally would be the equivalent of us paying for a meal plan. So, and you would think that we have like gourmet, but like please don't. Please know that we are struggling. A few of my friends from other colleges have come to visit, and they, we're also struggling in our dining halls. And I always think it's funny because each house has a dining hall. And so other than when you're a freshman, you have Annenberg, but other than that, each house has a dining hall. And so in those dining halls, you can have different food. So usually there's the same standard meal plan. However, each dining hall like has different chefs. And so different chefs cook differently, and they'll have different like cool stuff back there. So like when I would go eat at my friends' dorms, I would eat there more than I ate at my own dorm, just because the food was better. Like the food tasted better, and they had more stuff. It was like different places have like exclusive stuff, like different sauces and stuff like that. And so it's I'm telling y'all, in college you'll realize it's the little things that matter. You'll get really cozy with like a few of the places on campus to eat, because one thing is we don't have any like major chains on campus that's like a thing. And so we have little like cute mom and pops things, but they almost make our culture. So the food is a drawback, and like I guess you could say the food in the community is kind of makes up for it, but not really, because the food in the community is the same thing. I can only go to Chipotle and get a bowl so many different ways. And who's paying an Uber Eats fee? Not I. Another drawback, depending on how lucky you are as a student, is the lottery system with housing, y'all. If y'all know anything about housing, go check out my housing day video, y'all. I'm gonna have it up here. Go check out my housing day video. It's a hit and it's super short, so super quick, watch. But basically in my housing day video, I kind of lay out how like crazy and exciting that day is, but all houses are not created equal. So you can have your river houses, which are like just traditionally closer to the yard, which is where classes are, and like beyond the yard. But you can also be in the quad. In the quad, well, it used to be good for engineers, but now that we have a new engineering building, it's not. Everyone just views it as a hassle. It's a hit or miss. Some people like the quad, some people don't. I was in a river house, so I didn't have to go through that struggle of like walking, 20 minutes to get to class. Depending on how you view the houses and things, like the living situation can sometimes not be ideal. One of my like roommates, my freshman year, got quadded, and she was crying because, the quad people, they're used to seeing people cry, because the quad is not always the most optimal place. But again, it's how you look at it, However, housing can really mess you up, especially because you can get separated from your friends. Like, you're in your group, you're with your roommates, but if you obviously you have friends outside of your roommates. Well, hopefully you do. And so you may be really far from them, and sometimes that can affect relationships. So, just from like those little things of living you know, in such close quarters in the yard. Like, we live feet away from each other. Everybody does. That's how you make the friends. But then it's like after that, you live so far away from each other, and so that can like really affect relationships, and it can, you know, just affect, you know, even you wanting to go to class and you being late to class. I'll tell you, I have seen quad people running because they got to take the shuttle. It's too much. So you know, I didn't have to go through that struggle because I, you know, was lucky enough to get a river house. But the fact that it's like a lottery obviously puts us all in the same even playing field, you know, a lottery. But you know, if you don't kind of win that lottery, we say like, oh, we won the lottery. If you don't win the lottery, then you can have a less optimal 3 last years of college. Another thing I would say is a drawback of Harvard, and I think I would put this more on kind of like the students that are there than kind of the actual school itself, but sometimes it's mental health. Everyone approaches school differently, and so, you know, you have this group of people who have been at the top of their class who work so hard and work differently. You know, I have walked in rooms, I've walked in study spaces and like different office hours and just walked right out because I was like, this environment is too stressful, like I'm not gonna get stuff done. And so I think sometimes a drawback is almost like this pressure to put your mental health on the back burner, you know, by different people. If you go to Harvard, you have to be very mindful of always keeping yourself first and not allowing other people's boundaries affect your own, especially when you have very different priorities and very different outlooks and perspectives and just, you know, ideas of what a good student is. Because like I've said in other videos, my senior year on Fridays, I had one class. I went to that class and I closed my laptop and I didn't open it for the rest of the day. Like, that was my boundary, because it also helped me because then Saturday mornings I felt refreshed and I felt like I could get even more work done. But you know, other people would rather, or other people rather not do that. Other people rather work every single day, no breaks. And so you have to figure out what's best for you. But I encourage you, like, to genuinely figure out what is best for you, and please do not let other people pressure you into, you know, like, I'm literally saying pressure you, but I'm literally just talking about studying, because you will see in college can take a huge mental toll on people. And so that's why I encourage you to just always put yourself first, because if you don't, you will feel it. You will really feel it as the semester goes on, and especially second semester, because I don't know if this is normal at other schools, but spring semester is just traditionally known to be harder and just is harder. I think it's a lot of time just because you're taking like the part 2 of classes, and part 2s are always worse than part 1. I know for me, the spring semester always hit me hard, especially like organic chemistry. That second semester orgo, it took me out. But you know, you have to set those limits for yourself, and I think a lot of times just because people are like, oh, I'm at Harvard, they like lose those bounds because they're like, I'm at Harvard, I have to do this and do that. You don't have to. You can, I'm here to tell you, you can be successful and still set healthy boundaries for yourself when it comes to studying, hanging out with friends, watching your favorite TV show, and still be a good student and a successful student that can go on to do every single endeavor that you go to pursue. So please keep that in mind. And I think a lot of times, you know, people kind of like overlook that factor about college, and especially when they go to, you know, elite colleges that have kind of like the, you know, different types of students. Another drawback that I would pull for going to Harvard is a lot of times relationships and friendships sometimes will seem so transactional at that school. Like, so many students, you will definitely find your people and find your friends, but so many times you're like, I know you're just talking to me because you want me, you know, you're just here to network. And so I completely understand networking. Don't get me wrong, you have to network in life, but every single relationship you make should not be based on networking. Every single person you talk to should not be because you're looking to get something out of them in the future. And a lot of times it feels like that with the students. A lot of times you're like, I know you're never gonna talk to me. Like, sometimes it can feel like a very fake environment with people. And so you definitely have to you'll definitely find your friends, and you definitely, like, it's 100% doable. Not everyone is like this, but it's like you'll go to so many different events, and it's just people sometimes don't know how to turn the strategy off. Of course, we're looking for the future. We're all trying to be successful, but like at some point, you just have to just sit down and lay back and just look to have a good time. Like, and so a lot of times at that school, I promise you, people just don't know how to sit down and have a good time. Like, just calm down. It's not that serious. It's not. It's really not. Definitely another downside, because y'all, these students, I'm telling you, of course, I'm not speaking for every single student, and I'm, again, speaking from my own experience. However, these students. So another downside, I would say, is probably the exclusivity of things. I think that it's already so hard to get into the college, and then it's like once you get there, but like so many different clubs, like fun clubs, like more sorority type vibes, all that, you have to do another process of like exclusivity and like kind of pitching your case again. And so it's almost like a never-ending cycle of like 3% acceptance rates. Even after you get into school, it's like, okay, first I have to get in, then okay, I want to get in this club, that's another thing. Oh, I actually want to do this community service club, that's another thing. Okay, don't quote me on that, but another club, this, then I want to do this. It's like, it just never ends, like, of almost proving yourself to other people, like to other students at that. It's almost like, why do y'all want me to prove myself to you? It's almost like in order to meet people, you literally have to like join these clubs, and then it's a battle to get in them. Even once you're in, a lot of times people are like not even that satisfied at that. So sometimes it's just a never-ending cycle, I feel like, of just trying to find your space, and then, you know, just getting in the space, get through the door of like what is supposed to be said in inclusive space. And so that definitely is a huge conversation for upperclassmen. I promise you, starting sophomore year and up, like that is a continuous conversation, just because, again, because of exclusivity, not everybody's going to be in it. And so it's always that discussion of like, why is this here? What is its purpose? Why didn't I get in? Why did you get in? And then sometimes it causes beef within friend groups, because, you know, people be taking it too serious, and I promise y'all it's not that serious. And then on that note, it just, the vibes are off, and you're just like, I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. On that note, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you like, subscribe, comment. We have one more Harvard video that I'm releasing after this that I am so excited for you guys to see. It'll be a 4-year synopsis. And so make sure you watch that video. And then obviously I'm always up for suggestions. So if you have any ideas, comments, whatever, put them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. I hope that, oh, this is on my neck. I'm sweating. I'm literally sweating. Okay.